So, 102ers, here's a little secret about these videos. Come closer so I don't have to shout. I used to script a brand new video every week of every semester, which meant that I deleted all of my old stuff. It took me about 1.5 years before I realized how stupid that was. Now, I basically keep the lesson part of it relatively the same, with minor changes each time, and I retype the introduction and the conclusion based upon the time of year and such. I do this all, including the recording, the Friday before it becomes live. That way, it's ready for you. It's, current, and I don't have the struggle of the time frames, and you're all set. It's not like I'm making an Oscar-nominated short film here, but I'm really hoping that they help you. At the very least, when you ask questions, I can always ask you, did you watch the video? I covered it in the video. Go watch the video. See? It's a win. As I started doing this semester, let's jump into the announcement here for those who don't really remember that we have announcements. And you can see, yes, it does exist. So here I have an announcement in the announcement that next week, week 10, not this week, week 9, but next week, week 10, the Unit 3 argument research paper and the Unit 4 argument research presentation are both due, and they will not be accepted late. They will be due by 11:59 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, July 21st. It must be in by that time, okay? It is the literal end of the semester. There is no late work because there is no tomorrow. Once that time frame locks, the class locks. You cannot submit stuff late. So those of you who have been sliding in a little bit late, like, you're turning it in at 2 a.m. instead of 12 o'clock. I didn't really, cause any problems with that because I'm asleep. I'm not going to fight that. Those of you who turned it in at like 9 a.m. the next morning, you got your penalties. But it must be in, okay? No excuses, no extensions, no exceptions. Make sure that they are there. As you can see here, I kind of go through the week 8, week 9. We got the video and the chapter listing. Hopefully everybody's going through that. Preview, the research paper, and the presentation are due next week. I have the sample paper here, which is going to be attached to this announcement right here. And then I have the sample PowerPoint that I made up for the presentation, which is attached right here. So that way you can look at both and be ready for it. Here's what we need to read this week. Bang, 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 bang. There's a video included in the Argumentative Research Speech Overview. It's 10 minutes and 42 seconds. I did not make that one, so maybe you'll like it better. I don't know. And the only thing that's due this week is due by Sunday, July 14th. At 11:59 p.m. Eastern. It's the speech outline. So we'll go over that. But let's start with our course schedule down here on the right-hand side. Clicking that. And we scroll all the way down to week number 9. And here it is. Beginning week, Unit 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 things to cover today. And we have one assignment, okay? This week here is week 10, and once again, I want to make it very clear that I cannot accept the final paper or presentation late. The due date is Sunday, July 21st, 2024, by 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Again, that is quite literally the very last second of the semester. I cannot and will not accept any pleas for exceptions, and I will not accept any excuses, nor will I grant any extensions. Why? I cannot. The semester literally ends when the paper is submitted, period. Do not put it off. I'd hate to see people get burned for extreme procrastination, okay? So again, this assignment and this assignment are both due no later than, that means you can turn it in prior to that, but no later than Sunday, July 21st, 2024 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern. I'm making it so very clear to you because there's been a lot of you this summer who are looking at due dates as nothing more than just slight recommendations. That's not true, okay? No late work will be accepted. No extensions, no excuses, no exceptions. Hopefully that sinks in. Now, there's a recommended page to look at here, which is developing your reference page using the APA style. And honestly, I'm not going to tell you not to spend time on it or look at it, because it could help you. There's a video in here that's embedded into the page, which is why I didn't put it on the announcement. But they've got a sample references page here, which doesn't necessarily do much besides kind of show you what it should look like. But if you actually look, and here's some additional videos here if you want to look at these. I already linked this page last week, the OWL. But what I want you to remember is it always begins on a separate page. They should be alphabetized by the author's last name or the actual first letter of the first word of the title if there is no author. Center and bold the word references at the top of the page. Double space all the references. And use a hanging indent. What's a hanging indent? A hanging indent, if you look here very closely, you can see that the first line is aligned to the margin. However, every line underneath it of that reference is pushed in a ½ inch. So as long as you remember that, you're in really good shape, okay? Perfect. So, reviewed it. We're in good shape. Let's move to the next piece, the argumentative research speech overview. Okay. Oop. That's what I wanted. There we go. This page outlines the requirements for the project. As you can see right here, it has to be 5 to 8 minutes long. Please don't panic. Trust me when I tell you this. 5 to 8 minutes when scripting your video is very quick. There are so many times this semester I think I'm killing it on time. And when I look down, I'm shocked to find out that I'm already at 12 minutes. I mean, right now I'm at 7 minutes. And I barely just started. Don't think this is 5 to 8 minutes and it's ridiculous, because it's going to go so quickly that you won't even realize it. Calm down, Sheldon. Anyway, anything under 5 minutes will lose you points. Anything grossly over 8 minutes will lose you points. There's a sweet spot here, folks. Hit it. You will be using this presentation to show what you found in your research paper. No, you will not be reading your research paper. This is not a Sunday afternoon in the children's section of the library where we sit cross-legged listening to whatever the librarian is choosing to entertain the kids, okay? You are presenting the highlights of your paper. As you can see, the powers that be provided 5 bullet points for you to encompass in your presentation. What is your topic? How did you decide on the topic? Is it related to your major? What are your career plans? Basically, introduce yourself and establish your ethos. What are 3 to 4 of your major research questions, and how difficult was it to find the answers? So what did you ask to find the material, and did you struggle with it? What is your thesis? Did your thesis change at any point? Now, a lot of you are going to say my thesis was this. No, it didn't change. Some of you might actually do this. Every time I have somebody wanting to write on capital punishment, they're saying, yeah, absolutely, kill everybody. And then when they get through their research, they say, well, there's a lot of people that were killed that shouldn't have been, so I'm against capital research now, or capital punishment now. There you go. What were your claims, counter-arguments, and rebuttals? What were the major body paragraphs or sections? I don't like that word. It should be section. For each point, discuss as much evidence as appropriate. So you might have a slide for each one of these. You might have 2 or 3. Who knows? And what were 2 of the 3 of the most interesting things you learned from your sources? This is my favorite bullet point because it shows me that you're paying attention. It shows me that you actually read this page, watched this video, and know what I'm looking for. I want to know what you got out of this paper / presentation, kind of to show me that you took it seriously, okay? So what additional background knowledge did you need to understand? What did you look? Was it anything shocking or disturbing or reassuring? So this is really interesting, okay? Please make sure to go through it. Next week, I'm going to show you how to put all this in your presentation, but you can look at the sample that I associated, and that's great. One of the things that I need you to understand is that we are talking about a presentation here, which means that you are trying to entertain as well as inform your audience. Think about my videos. Whether you consider them to be entertaining or not, I'm at least trying to make you chuckle. with my break-in gifs or my stupid comments. When I do a PowerPoint, I'm always including visuals to break up the blocks of text because the audience doesn't want to be hammered by lines of text. They want to be entertained as they learn something. That's why this section here is so important, which is adding visuals. Okay, it gives you all sorts of ideas here, how to click on it, and you can go to Statista and put infographics, use pictures, statistics, and chart infographics. That's great. Use a variety of techniques to keep your reader interested, but make sure to cite the things. Again, I'll attach the sample to the announcement and explain it next week, but just stay with me. Clip art and other small pictures are always helpful, but make sure that they actually connect to what's already on the slide. Use your best judgment to ensure that you are not being exploitative. For example, if you're speaking about drunk driving, you shouldn't even consider putting a bloody DUI accident crime scene photo on the slide. That is the quickest way to turn your audience off. Don't drop 300 photos on a single slide either. 1 or 2 tasteful pictures in the right locations speak volumes. That goes for stats and graphs as well. Remember to cite those stats and graphs, however. The key to everything is readability. If your audience cannot follow your ideas or everything is so jumbled that it's confusing, your presentation will fall totally flat. Each one of these links here will take you to a different part that will help you create what's going on. And honestly, it's not on this page, but I'll tell you right now that I expect roughly the same number of slides as I expected pages in your research paper. A title slide for the title page, 7 to 8 content slides representing 7 to 8 pages of your paper, and at least 1 references slide with all the material that you use within your presentation. Of course, then you add the any question slide, which isn't on your paper. So at minimum, I'll be expecting 10 slides. Since many of you skip these videos, I'll be sure to spell it out very clearly in the announcements as well. Okay? All right. Back to this. The next few pages here... Okay, hold on. Sorry, it's summertime, and the kids are home. Anyway, these next few pages are pretty much common sense material. Honestly, they aren't really geared towards the presentation in general. They're more lined up for parts of the research paper itself, which honestly we've already covered. So how do we begin a speech effectively? Well, this is kind of something that you probably should have had before the introduction. And I'm not quite sure why they organized it the way they did. Because everything you're doing is explaining this material very clearly. So you know what you're doing. The attention getter. Here's a bunch of different attention getters that you can get. Quotations, reference to audience, reference to subject. The one that I do like that I hate in regular research papers is the question, opening the question, which is fine here because you're trying to initialize your audience and get ready for it, okay? So everything is in great shape when you have the question here and you're getting your audience on your side. You have your startling statement. You have your personal anecdote. So go through all of these attention getters and see which one works best for your material. Organizing the argumentative research speech, well, it's kind of a waste of time because you're going to organize your presentation the same way that you organize your paper. Introduction, background, argument points 1 through 3, counter-argument, rebuttal, conclusion. I mean, it's really not that hard. Once you get through that, you're done. I don't necessarily think that you need an entire page to explain that bit of common sense, but if you just take a look at the structure here, this is kind of what the homework is tonight, or this week, since we're not doing it on a night. But it is common sense. Now that the theory is done, let's talk about brass tacks, shall we? Let's get into the assignment for the week. As you can see, there's only one assignment due for the week, the outline for your speech. You can see the traditional outline here. By clicking on there, we get to here. And then we click on this, and you see this lovely thing. Now, if you do this right, you're actually going to be writing your script. You can plan ahead and come up with your ideas right here. So just change, write what you want to put in your introduction. Start answering these questions, and you're going to be able to have all this material right here. You've got your claims, spell them out right here. And then as you're going through it, you're in great shape. Now, I don't necessarily do my scripts like this. This is just a good way for you guys to get started. My script looks something like this. So as you can see, I even have stage directions in here. Stop and put up this, stop and return. I have all the things I'm reading in here, and I've basically typed it out, okay? And that way, as I'm reading, I know exactly what's going on. By the way, we're right here. We're off script. So as you type all this up and make sure it's ready to go, when you click it and you're done, that's it. Now, a lot of you are going to look at this and say, oh, this is an easy one. It's not. This really is setting you up for next week. So please, work through it, okay? Okay. 2 submissions are left after this week, folks. Can you believe it? You've almost made it. The outline this week is very important, and you need to work on that paper and the final presentation for next week, as that is the bulk of your final grade. Once again, I cannot accept that material late. There is no extensions, no exceptions, no excuses. Once those 2 things are in, you're finished. You can belly up to the bar for a liquid celebration. You'll have earned it by then. Until then, work very hard this week and next week. We'll catch up again next week, and enjoy.